What's good, gang? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Autumn and I'm here to help you assume the position of who it is that you want to be, because remember, you guys, you are the only thinker in your reality. Thus you can do, be, and have whatever it is that you want in this reality, you guys. So today I want to talk about limiting beliefs and do you need to find them. And I just want to preface this by saying I watched a Joe Dispenza podcast, and he says something about limiting beliefs that I do not agree with. And he says that you have to find the limiting belief in order to change your reality. Now, as we know in the quantum field, every reality that you could think of exists. Every outcome to a version of something or a situation or a version of yourself that you would like to change is in the quantum field. So that means that it's different versions of you that has different beliefs, different personalities, etc. And so it does not make sense for me or for anyone to actually go and find a limiting belief while you're being the person who you no longer want to be, right? So when you think about it, I talked about this yesterday about really doing nothing, because a lot of us do our techniques to try to change who we're being instead of assuming the position of the person that we want to be, the person who didn't have those limiting beliefs or whatever it is that you do not like about that old circumstance. And one thing about limiting beliefs, you guys, I've realized over time that they will actually find you. You do not have to go looking for it, because whatever is coming up in your reality that needs to be cleared, it will be shown to you, and the real limiting belief will be shown to you. Because your limiting beliefs, if you go searching for your limiting beliefs from you being that individual that you do not want to be anymore, that you're trying to move out of that state into a new state, and you're sitting there looking for your limiting belief, your limiting belief is going to lie to you, you guys. Your limiting beliefs, they usually give you a surface level answer when it comes to looking for a limiting belief. And usually it's not the correct version of your limiting belief, right? So I want to tell you guys a personal story. So I thought that I had a limiting belief when I was in a state that felt as if I could not move on from the business that I had created, that I let go. And I found it very hard to get consistent with what I was doing with creating content for my new businesses, and to really give myself fully over into that business. And so as I was in that old state, I would ask myself, what is my limiting belief here as to why I cannot get moving in the direction that I know that I need to go? And my limiting belief told me, at what I thought was my limiting belief, but was actually that old version of me who had all those excuses, was the fact that I did not have time. So my limiting belief then was I do not have time, right? So when I decided to actually move into the identity of being the person that I am now, realizing that there were never any problems, just a version of me that did not have the bandwidth to actually be consistent in what they were doing. And I moved over to looking at myself as a person who has the confidence, who has the factors that is needed to actually go forward in what they want to do. And as I started assuming that position, the limiting belief, the true limiting belief that I still was working through at that time, found me. And it found me through me being consistent in what I was doing, still assuming the version of myself that I wanted to be. And the true limiting belief came up was when I was sitting in silence, when I was not doing anything, when I wasn't trying to figure the limiting belief out, when I did not see anything as a problem. And I was sitting one day, I was just sitting and I was just meditating, and the limiting belief came to me, you guys. I did not have to go looking for it. It showed up, and it was a limiting belief that I could have never fathomed that it was. And the limiting belief, it said to me in a still small voice, it said, when are you going to be done punishing yourself? Blew my mind. Blew my mind, because I thought that there was no way that I was punishing myself from saying that I didn't have time. But that was the true limiting belief, is the fact that I was punishing myself from moving on from something that did not serve me, but I still had an attachment to it because I thought, and I had worked so hard and I built that business up, that I felt as if I was betraying it, and I was betraying that version of myself by actually giving myself permission to move on. So I was punishing myself by not having time, somehow coming up with the mindset that I did not have time. But that was not the true limiting belief. The true limiting belief was I was holding myself back because I was still punishing myself over something that happened so long ago. So when you assume the new position, regardless of what's going on or regardless of that old version of you, you do not have to go looking for anything from the past. You do not have to go looking at a limiting belief, because who you are being now and in the reality that you're in, when you want to be the person that you want to be, the new version of you, the new reality, it's going to show you, it's going to come to you what it is that you need to clear out or what it is that needs to be looked at. And so as soon as that came into my mind, that awareness of that limiting belief, it immediately cleared. Immediately, I was able to let it go. And I never had that problem again showing up for myself, you guys. And it was the one thing that I needed to really look at so that way it could be dissolved. And as soon as that was dissolved, I've been consistent ever since. I've been, getting my clients. Things have been moving on for me because I did not look at that limiting belief. That other limiting belief was I didn't have time. If I would have brought that over here and said that that was the reason why I couldn't get to where I wanted to go, I would have never moved forward because it wasn't the truth. And that version of you in your old version and your ego a lot of the time is going to want you to stay attached to that old version. So it's not going to tell you the real reason why you are not getting what you want is because you're looking for it. It's only going to give you a surface level answer. But when you commit yourself to being that person no matter what, and realizing that there are no problems, whatever needs to be resolved is going to come to you. So you do not have to go looking for it, you guys. You don't have to go looking for it being that old version of you, because you're not going to get it. That old version of you cannot perceive the real reason why anyway. This is why I love that quote from Steve Jobs, where he says, you can never connect the dots looking forward, but you can always connect them looking backwards. Now, when I look back, being the person that I am now, I could clearly see that that was the reason why I was not moving forward. But me, as I was being then at that time, that version of me really wanted me to stay in that old version of me. So of course it was going to give me some BS answer. Right? So I want you guys to not be worried about finding a limiting belief or finding something that's wrong with you, because there are no problems, just different versions of you that have different behaviors, different circumstances, different beliefs about themselves. And so you have to really commit to assuming the new position no matter what your mindset says, no matter what your mental says. And the answer is going to come to you, the real answer at that as well. Okay? So I'm actually going to leave this video here. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Coaching and all that good stuff is in the description box down below. I'll also tag it in the comments. And once again, you guys, imagination is always on your side, and I am too. Bye.